I love it. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Um, Man, imagine growing up now, right? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm extremely excited because Electric Callboy released a new track, this time with BabyMetal. Quite a surprise for me. I hadn't really necessarily linked the two together, but here we are. And it makes sense. They sort of like are sort of genre bending in their own way. So I love that they've come together and made a song. And I can't wait to check it out. You know, Electric Callboy is really known for their absolutely fantastic videos, which are directed by the Schillobros, one of their guitar players, Pascal Schilo, and his brother. And, they're all largely created with the same team. So I'm just super stoked to check it out. I think they're extremely talented filmmakers and really like breathing a breath of fresh air through the metal genre. Also in metal videos because they just infuse each of their videos with so much fun. Just FYI, I also recorded a reaction to We Got the Moves. However, that one is currently sitting in YouTube copyright purgatory, unfortunately. I have uploaded it to my Patreon, however, so if you're interested in checking it out, go to my Patreon. It's there, including some other tracks that for some reason, even though there's like a million reaction videos to them on the internet or on YouTube, mine got flagged. Who knows why? I don't know. I don't understand it. So yeah, you can find them there. Just so you know what we do here, I'm a filmmaker and I specifically look at the visuals of a music video. I do listen to the music, but don't really talk about the music necessarily. For me, it's more about, how does the video and the music interact and come together and make it an even more amazing package. So yes, that's what we do here. I'm excited. Let's just get into it. So before we begin, I just wanted to quickly say that this is the first time I'm hearing the song and first time seeing the video, just so you know.
Every night when the sky turns red up above, I feel the beat in my veins and I'm searching for love. You know that hips don't lie and leave you hypnotized. Just give me one more try to make you feel that vibe. When you go, my body and a weapon, we're gonna hit the floor. We're gonna make it happen. You'll give me some more. I will push you to the limit, and everybody's feeling the sound of the night. I don't wanna stop. We push you to the limit. Together we will crush the morning light.
Oh my gosh. Oh, where do I start? So we open up on Nico and Kevin, and they're basically doing a callback to the Every Time We Touch video with them, doing this bit. That was really cute. So we've seen that before, right? With them, like that movement. Really cute. They're really wearing these really cute sort of outfits with the disco ball helmets, and they've just immediately set the tone for what this is gonna be, right? It's just another one of those fusions of the dance and the metal. I wasn't really quite sure what to expect because what I had seen, like little tiny snippets, had only been the onstage performance that I had seen. No music, but just like the video on Instagram. And so I was thinking maybe this was going to be just a stage performance. So count me happily surprised when they break through the wall and they enter this sort of Japanese business meeting. Really, really cool. Let's look at that again.
Give me one more try to make you feel that vibe. When you go, my body and a weapon, we're gonna hit the floor. We're gonna make it happen. You'll give me some more.
Awesome. I think it's very dynamic. We have a great, establishing shot here with all of these people at the table doing their business thing. And so I really specifically love what they did here. So they built this little set, probably, I don't know where, maybe where they record all these videos. That will be a question for their team. But we have a beautiful sort of wooden lattice ceiling here with the some light coming through. So that looks very pretty. And then we have this here in the background, which is clearly a green screen. And it's some sort of skyline. I'm not sure what. So I'm fairly sure that Electric Callboy is being sponsored by the PC, components brand Razer. And we see a little branding here. It's tiny, but it's there, so that's pretty smart. So I think I saw that in one of their, tour behind the scenes videos. And something I also wanted to point out is that I really love the lighting here. So they have rigged some of these tube lights up here as if it's office lighting. But with these tube lights, and I talked about them extensively in the Rammstein Deutschland video as well, you have a lot of control with these tube lights. So it's a very smart way, and it still convincingly looks like office lighting. So love that, really smart. And then loving their costumes, like really nicely and officey and plain. And then Nico and Kevin break through the wall. Loving the kick there. That's really cool. And so the camera movement immediately like ramps up, and they do this more frequently. We start with, kind of more static on them, like not much camera movement. But then when both the louder music kicks in as well as more action happens on screen, we get a lot more camera movement, and the editing is a bit more swift. So that works really, really well. Love the color grading here, by the way. Really, really love the cool tones in the background, and then the warmness on their faces, which is from those tube lights that I pointed out. And that's really sort of amplified in the color grading as well, and I love the contrast here. So just to react and to kind of look at the stage setup, basically this part is all about BabyMetal, and I love that they're so prominent. Their costumes are great, really loving the reflectiveness of it, and like the color and the sort of, that shine to it, which is really working very nicely with the stage lighting. And so obviously I don't know as much about lighting for a stage, because that's not my expertise, but I do know that Electric Callboy, I've unfortunately never seen them live yet, but I know that they pay a lot of attention to, the look of their shows. And so I'm assuming that maybe they worked with their stage lighting technician, or, their DP also knows a lot about stage lighting. I don't know. I think that this is really fun. And then we also have the guys here on the background. They're there, but they're obviously not the focal point here. And I think the way that this was shot really fits really well with the choreography that we're seeing. I think the choreography is great. I love that, BabyMetal sort of does this sort of girl band type of thing on the metal music. It works really well, and it's so fun. It's like their blend, right? But just to point out, like, even though the music is kind of pumping, right? It's not as loud or as fast as you would expect with. It's not loud or fast necessarily, but there's definitely like things happening in the music, but they're dancing. And so the DP and the camera operator are basically, and the editing too, are adapting to there being more movement on the dance. So there's not as much happening with the camera movement. So you'll see that the shots are a little less crazy. So basically they had a camera operator with a steady cam that was like basically moving in front of the BabyMetal girls, and they just cut that but it's not like fast cuts. It's slower to really make sure that the dance gets to shine. So that's really smart. And then also, I think we had a little bit of a crane shot as well because we were up high all of a sudden and then moved down. So that looks like they had a crane there too. Which is perfectly possible because the benefit of shooting on a stage like this, you have a little bit more space to rig big setups. So, all right, let's continue watching. Oh, it's so cute. I love it. Or as I should say, kawaii. Okay. So just to go back to another establishing shot here. So we're on like a medium wide, and we're in the same space where that they turned into the that was the meeting room before. And again, it's just set up slightly differently. It's more like a karaoke bar now, the way that they've set it up, which is really cute. I love all the different colors of lights, and they got these blow up radio and saxophone and guitar here. Really cute. And obviously they're still wearing, although I'm not sure if they were wearing these cute cat ears before with the lights in them. That's really sweet. Love all of the neon. And also, if you'll remember me talking about the tube lights just now, they've now rigged them here on the walls to make them more like the neon lights. And as you can see, they're the same lights, but they're different color, different, brightness. So you can really use them in so many different ways, which I love. I love tube lights. So they're really cool. And it just looks really well. We have the same cityscape kind of here. Anyway, so then the guys burst in again, kind of same as before. So they, to make that happen multiple times, obviously you have to rebuild that wall every time. So they definitely, it's not just the 2 times that we've seen it now, but they probably had like a number of takes for the same bursting through the wall thing. So I don't know how many times they had to rebuild that set and rebuild that wall, but usually it's like 4 times. So they may have done it like 8 times, one time, like for, probably won't be that many. Like that's common in TV that they'll reset and redo it 4 times for something like that. Here, that's usually, down to budgetary constraints, time constraints, like you don't know how much time they had with BabyMetal here. Maybe they've only done it twice, but usually like they will have to redo and reset those types of stunts because they're actually stunts, right? A couple times, and then you select the shot that you like best, and that's the one you end up using in the edit. So just so you know how that kind of works. So they break through again. I love the little dance here of the Ratatata thing. That's really, really cute. And all right, so here they are. Obviously they have some sort of really bright light behind the wall here. So to kind of amplify on their big entrance. Really cool. Love the blue and pink here. So they do have blue lights rigged as well from like the front of BabyMetal essentially. And then they have the pink coming from the backside of the set.
For the beat,
Okay. Before we get into that, because that's awesome. I love this. So, they break through the wall again, right? And the girls are kind of shocked, like, "Ooh, they jumped through the wall. What's happening?" And they follow. So, kind of intrigued. So they move towards the hole in the wall, and then we see them from the other side of the set, because we look into the set here. You can kind of see where, they saw through this to, because you do have to make sure that the guys can actually like jump through the wall. So to rig a stunt like that, you have to make sure they actually are able to break through it. So there's like cuts there that you won't see because the only moment that you see it is when they actually jump through. But here we actually see the other side of it, so you can actually see some of those cuts. Because if they'd actually jumped through it, well, they would have bounced back technically, right? That would be funny. But you can see some of the cuts here that they made so that they would be able to burst through. We have some really nice blue light on our face here, and then we see all three of them. Really cute, very nicely staged. And then we transition to this beautiful set piece that really kind of reminds me of the Parasite video as well. Love the disco ball here. They're just singing. Love the camera movement again with the Steadicam. I think it's very, very smooth and slow, which really fits with like the lull in the music. And they're just like, it's a little bit more mellow, so it just goes really well. If you would have been able to see my We Got the Moves video, I have pointed this out before, but unfortunately, thanks to YouTube and their label, I guess, I haven't been able to share this quite yet with you. But something that I said in that video is that something that Electric Callboy and their directors and their team are really, really good at is progression. And so they are really able to, the songs are structured a certain way, and the progression in the songs is really great, where it has chapters in a way, right? Like obviously you have the choruses, you have the verses, you have the bridges, but they are specifically very smart about matching those chapters to what you're seeing on screen, and also like the build up towards like the shift from chapter to chapter is always really, really, really good. So the transitions are great. They really adapt their visual language to what's happening in the song as well. And that's not even listening to the lyrics. Like I don't tend to listen to the lyrics in these songs. Sometimes I should, more so because they can be relevant, but I also like just taking in the visuals as they are, and then also afterwards like finding out with you, the viewers, like how well it fits with the lyrics too. So definitely want to invite you to tell me a little bit more about, those things too. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Love this shot in particular because if we look at the lighting and the color grading here, so everything here is really, really, really cool toned. And so it's very blue, very moody and atmospheric. We only have the one light that's basically shining on him here. And there's probably some light coming from... No, I would say it's probably just this big one, because everything here is dark. So it's probably the big light that's, lighting his face. So that's very precise work there. Really beautiful. But what stands out to me here is that the only warm bit is his skin color here. So we see it in the reflection here. We see his face. Everything else is cool toned. And that really sort of, in a setting like this, really amplifies the humanity. And that really drives home also some of the music and like the more, the more mellow vibe and tone of this segment of the song. Really beautiful. And same thing for her on this side too. It's again, obviously there's more color here, but still everything is fairly cool toned, except for the skin is a little bit more warm toned, and the lighting here is coming more from the back there. It's possible that mostly she's lit by the reflection of the disco ball here. Really beautiful, and I love this segment. And then we transition into the next fun part where, the music ramps up and we have the girls. They basically are introducing us into the next segment of the song. So I love Kevin's crazy energy. He really gets his moment to shine with these power chords and like the lightning bolt VFX here, which is really, really cool. I love that they like Nico and Kevin are such great performers, and they're really able to match BabyMetal's energy in terms of like stage presence and just general presence and like going for it, and I think that's why it's a good matchup. It really works between the two acts, and it's really, really cool. And yeah, he goes for it. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Man, imagine growing up now, right? They have such an interesting blend of pop and metal and dance, and I can imagine that back when I was a little kid, I would have loved this. Like this would totally have been my thing. Like what did I have? Like Britney Spears? That was obviously not my thing at all. Like I didn't really connect with my peers at the time, for sure. It's a little bit of an understatement. But anyway, so I'm just excited for kids that also like they get to listen to this and grow up to this, and I can imagine that people who are into Electric Callboy would love to share this with their kids. Like if I had kids like this, I'd play this for them all the time. What I think is really smart how they're able to, I think, really see the potential of the Asian market as well. And to tap into that, I think is really, really smart. So I've found that, Electric Callboy and their entire team, they're so incredibly intentional, and I have so much respect for that. It just, they're smart, they're really like being able to speak to a lot of people, I think. Anyway, so some final thoughts. Really love this bit where they're dancing in front of the giant disco ball, and we have a lot more. That it's fascinating because I was talking before how we just had like the really blue light, the cool light from the top. They now added some warm lights here, which looks great. So the foreground's more warm toned, which again feels more like we're heading. It's part of that progression thing where we're now headed toward towards the end of the song, and it just again highlights them really well here in the foreground. And I love that they have these poses which really works, and it's so Japanese, which I love. So it's great. I love that. And then we have Nico and Kevin in front of the disco ball as well, and we see that they're popping up. So we have a really bright light that's shining at them, which you'll see when they come up and it's shining at their face, but they also have the warmer light going on in the foreground here, which we don't technically see, but you can still see some of the reflection of it in the disco ball, which I think is really nice. And I love that we can see them moving, and we probably see a little bit of the camera here as well. And I don't know what's going on, and I noticed this during the video. Why do their faces look so airbrushed? Or maybe like bronzed or something? There's a lot of maybe strong makeup going on. What a great video from Electric Callboy again, and BabyMetal here, and the entire Electric Callboy team. Absolutely love this. I hope they keep doing what they're doing for a very long time. I'm just so stoked for it. And, you know, from the music perspective, like, this was my first time listening to the whole song, even though I interrupted it a couple times. It's already stuck in my head. Like, they're so smart with blending, you know, this poppy element too. It's like, I know this is gonna be in my head, like We Got the Moose has been like all of 2023. This one is gonna be probably in my head for all of 2024. And yeah, loved it. Great video. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if you know anything. There's probably going to be another making of video, which is another reason why I love them. They involve us, you know, the viewers, the fans, so much in like their behind the scenes. And I'm stoked to see more of that and to dive into that more, to, you know, find out all about how they made this and what they did to achieve. I did see a brief clip on Florian Berwanger's Instagram showing a little tidbit from behind the scenes and how they did this. And it looked so cool. I'm gonna see if I can download and insert it here. And just a shout out to him for the great work. Let me know your thoughts on it. Did you love it as much as I did? And you can subscribe here on YouTube if you want more of this. You can also find me on Instagram as well as on Patreon nowadays. I just opened my Patreon, and in part just so that I have somewhere to share these videos that are getting blocked by YouTube. And on top of that, you also get to see some of my personal work that I haven't been able to share with the rest of the world yet, because some of the work that I do, I can't share publicly. You can find that over there, so check it out on Patreon. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you on the next one. Peace.